Hey, what's going on? Hey, this is Ray again. Hey, I want to shed a light. This is Black History Month, so I want to throw a little light on Dr. Nelly Fuller Jr. from Washington, D.C. He comes out on his radio, the Compensatory Code concept on Talktainment Radio, and he is a phenomenal justice for Afro-Americans. And a lot of people may not have heard of him before, but do your research. You're going to learn something. You'll be blessed by it. Take a listen to this excerpt right here from his radio talk show, okay?
Use of time and energy, and something that has monetary value. And I want to say this, when black people get to talking about money, all money is dominated by the white supremacists. There's no loose money fluttering around out here somewhere in the middle of the ocean or dropping from a cloud, or if it is, the white supremacists will look up at it as it falls out of the cloud and say all of it is mine. And if somebody says, oh no, it can't be yours because it's fallen out of the cloud, and the white supremacists will say to anybody with color in their skin, what did I say? I know the money fell out of the cloud. Nobody ever saw it before. But I say it's my money. You know why I can say it's my money? Because I can whip you and you can't whip me. That's why. So any money that comes from anywhere, any gold that comes out of the ground, any diamonds, any rubies, is mine. Why? Because you're mine. You can't claim anything. If you're black under the system of white supremacy, you can't claim money. You can't claim having a wife or children. I dictate who is whose wife and who is whose children, and who will have a job, and who will go to what school when, and what you will learn in that school. And after you come out of that school, like Mr. Brown did, with your paper in hand, you can't do nothing with it unless I say so. That's what white supremacy. That it was all over last night while everybody was asleep. I would have gotten up at 12 o'clock and say, hey, it's all over. I figured it out. I got it all figured out. Not some parts of it, because that won't work. Got it all figured out, because that's what it takes. And I would have figured it out before anybody got up, and it would be all on the news. We have a black person among us here on the planet that figured it all out and took care of it while everybody was asleep last night. It's all over, folks. It's a done deal. That didn't happen. So therefore, I'm saying things like I'm still learning. I learn from the people who criticize what I'm saying. Why? Because nobody's figured it out. But I think that what people put together, people can take apart. Absolutely. I believe that. Absolutely. Because you said something about divine intervention, or whatever that means. That means that whatever created us, whatever created everything, I guess, can intervene and straighten this mess out. But I believe that that's our job. That's our assignment. We are looking for someone, our creator would be an excellent person. To the question, can we defeat racism and replace it with a system of justice by black people cooperating with each other? Well, that's not likely to happen under the system of white supremacy, because we argue too much. I mean, black people, even when we try to go into business, I even tell black people, if you try to have as many as 3 partners, you're already probably in big trouble. For the simple reason that each and every black person has a lot of problems. Sometimes the problem is not the person, him or herself. The problem is the people that they are connected with. So-called family members, other business associates, dependent on some of them white and all like that. So it's like being in the prison. Always keep that in mind. You're operating in a prison system. I call it greater. I just call it the prison system. And when you get behind bars, now you're in greater confinement. That's what I call greater confinement. But most of us are not in greater confinement, even though huge numbers of us are. But we must have the greater confinement mentality about just getting rid of the prison, period. Not getting out of the prison, because there's no way to do that. Getting rid of the prison and setting up a better system rather than a prison system, or just like turning a prison into a library, say, or a factory. That should be the mindset. Turning the whole world into something productive rather than something that is non-productive, non-constructive, like it is now in the system of white supremacy. So that means you have to codify everything that you do. I have in the book, 58, page 58, 59, and 60. And it's 4 things that are described that every non-white person should be doing as an individual. You know, this thing of black people coming together, by the time you get 5 or 6 of us together, we got an argument going, just like we have a tendency to do even on these programs. You get 5 or 6 of us, even on a panel, and we'll start off with the laughing and the joking and the high-fiving and whatnot, but you just settle in for a while. Next thing you know, someone is going to disagree with someone else, and then we get into a jockeying for position to try to teach each other that we know more than the other. That's just a natural tendency of prisoners of war. You know, that's why you have so many prison fights and whatnot. I mean, you know, that's the way it goes with people who are just beaten down. We have such a need to have our voices heard that we just shout at each other rather than plan with each other. And that's not likely to change because of the prison conditions. So what do? We ally with a code. Black people's hands do. Touching things and feeling things and taking things when those hands can be used for something else.
Right.
But with a brain behind it. And what does the brain do? The brain taps into logic if it's operating correctly. 1 and 1 is 2.
Well,
Fire will burn. Water is wet. Now that's a brain that's working like it ought to work. But the white supremacists always want to stop people from doing what?
Thinking.
Black people from doing thinking. And what's one of the first things you can do to get a person to stop thinking?
Pat on the back.
Is to tell them they already know everything. Start doing all that patting on the back.
Boy, that was good.
Take 3
You're
baby
doing real
steps,
good.
and now you got to have a 50-day celebration, which is what the code says we should stop doing.
Good.
Black people are not qualified to celebrate anything. I'm going to drop that bomb again. Black people everywhere on this planet, none, not one, including myself, is totally unqualified to celebrate anything. So, under the law of compensation, if you're not going to do one thing, you do something else. So if we're not going to celebrate, what are we going to do?
Go on,
educate.
Yeah, we should be educating one another.
Every time 2 black people get together, they should be educating each other in a constructive fashion.
Absolutely.
So that they come away knowing something more than they did before that they can use in a constructive manner. And I'm saying that's one of the main things that black people can do.
Exactly.
But if it means that we're going to be dealing with something that's false, we need to be slapped in the face with the truth. Because that's the only thing that will really save us. Somebody once said it long before I was born. It's the truth that'll make you free. If you got cancer, you want to know it. If you're not ready to go on that football field, and the coach tells you, I can tell by the way you're catching the ball, the way you're trying to tackle somebody, you're going to get killed out there on that field. You better know that before you get on the field. We need to stop babying ourselves. We've been captured. We are under the greatest, smartest, most powerful system that the world has ever known. And the name of that system, in capital letters, is the system of white supremacy. And if you have color in your skin, you come under that system. We were all born in it. Now, me telling myself that everything is all right and that, those people ain't nothing. I mean, they ain't got nothing for me. That's why I'm in, like Richard Pryor says in that skit, that's why I am where I am today. On account of them people ain't nothing and I'm everything. Black people take off their shirts, particularly black males, and walk around flexing their muscles in the middle of the sidewalk on the street on a summer day to show how powerful we are. Well, there's all kinds of what they call animals And they call us animals that can flex muscles and shout loud and make people look around startled and be scared, really, at all the ways that we can say MF and cuss everybody out. But just somebody you might call amateur white supremacist, one that just got his credentials for white supremacy yesterday, can come up in front of just 200 or 300 of us, sometimes 2,000 or 3,000, and say, hey, you people better behave. Now, I've had enough of it. And if you don't get in line, you're going to wonder what fell on you. Now, do you understand that? And history has shown we understand it because we succumb. Oh, we're big and bad when we're dealing with other black people. Woof, 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 woof.
All day long.
But just a handful of white supremacists can go anywhere in the world. And anybody with color in their skin trembles when they want you to tremble. But they also know how to make us laugh. They know all the tricks. They know how we think because they raised us. They raised us under their roof, under their doctrines. We don't know anything outside of that.